You're in a situation where the Prime Minister is reviewing what it makes bullying or not. So the facts are there, as presented in his independent report. And, of course, bullying is one of those things where, when you look at those facts, it could well be page after page of grey. And he has to interpret what he feels comfortable with in terms of making the decision about Dominic Raab's fate. Have you heard, you're very plugged in, Ian, have you heard whether it's true that Dominic Raab has looked at this, read it, and says, well, I'm now not resigning? He always said he would if it was there, but he's now not.
Well, I don't even know if he's seen the report himself, and the Prime Minister's clearly got it. I don't think it's extraordinary in the sense that if this was a private sector company, I mean, if any of us had bullying allegations made against us, our bosses sort of up there, they would be doing exactly what Rishi Sunak is doing now, trying to work out, well, is this serious enough to warrant just a complete dismissal, or are there grey areas? And, I mean, there are so many allegations. That's Dominic Raab's problem. It's not just one or two allegations. I think there are 24 at least. So Rishi Sunak has got a difficult decision to make. And I think it's good that he's actually I mean, there's always demands when he's got to make a decision within an hour of getting the report. I think it's good that he's actually taken a bit of time on it.
But the interesting thing, and in some ways he's sort of hoist in his own petard, Rishi Sunak, because remember, he got a lot of credit for taking a very quick decision about Nadeem Zahawi and sacking him almost immediately that he received the information about what he'd done.
Was that more clear-cut?
Well, that's what we're supposed to assume from this. And one of the other issues here is the report and the investigation has been carried out by a barrister, a very senior barrister, but they're not the Prime Minister's ethics advisor, and either he wasn't asked or he wasn't therefore in a position to. He wasn't
appointed by them.
No, I know that's the issue. That's why it was carried out by him. But because of that, he hasn't made a judgment, as I understand it, about whether or not Dominic Raab's actions do or do not breach the ministerial code. So that would have been more clear-cut if that decision had been.
Although why would that not be part of the pondering now? Would he be able to call in the ethics advisors to get some assistance? Would he be doing that? I mean, that would seem to be part of what might be being considered, mightn't it? What are the political pressures on him, though? Dominic Raab, big supporter of him, also more on the right wing, the party, and we know he's got to keep those happy. Is that going to play a part?
Well, Dominic Raab doesn't have a huge group of supporters on the Tory backbenches. I think if he does go, there'll be a degree of sadness about it, I suppose, as there always is in these situations. But he hasn't got an army of people who are going to sort of come to his defence if Rishi Sunak does make that decision. But it is a big decision for any Prime Minister to make. Now, of course, the last time there was one of these decisions, it was about Priti Patel, where the ethics advisor did recommend, or did say that she had broken the ministerial code. Boris Johnson ignored that, as was, I mean, constitutionally his right to do. But, I mean, it wasn't a very good look for him. No. And again, if Rishi Sunak... I mean, look, we haven't seen the evidence. Yeah, everybody's already rushing to judgment. Oh, well, he must be guilty because there's 24 allegations. I don't know if he is or not. But it's
taken 5 months, though. You'd think after 5 months there will be some form of clarity, or is it always the problem with looking at bullying? You know, it's a very emotive subject. It's about the person who's on the receiving end of the action and how they react. It's a fraught territory for lots of firms and organisations across the country.
Remember, the other people that are having to wait to hear about this are all of the civil servants who did make complaints, and I think the suggestion was that there were 8 separate complaints that were being investigated, and all of those who gave evidence. So
they've indicated, if we believe the reports, that they will be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, some of them say they will resign if he's still in position, and that's the consequence. But I think the decision he's got to think about, Sunak, is that, you know, there is still a faction of the Tory party that are very much anti-Sunak. He's got to fight against that. Raab has been one of his most loyal supporters, has stood by him, campaigned for him, campaigned for him when he famously lost to Liz Truss, campaigned for him again. And there's an election next year. He's going to be looking and going, I think I might need this guy next to me.
And that is the difference between this situation and the Nadhim Zahawi one, where Nadhim Zahawi had not been a supporter of Rishi Sunak, so was more easily dispensable in some ways. And, I mean, loyalty in politics, I mean, there is loyalty, but... I mean,
no, not
could
not
he?
that much.
Well, we've seen it happen before. Could he say, "Look, step down now, and I'll bring you back"?
No.
Before the election.
No.
I mean,
why not?
Braverman came back within
Partly
before the election.
I mean, Dominic Raab's seat is being targeted by the Liberal Democrats. The majority reduced hugely at the last election, and almost regardless of what happens with this decision. A lot of people think Dominic Raab is toast at the next election anyway. So, again, he hasn't got a lot of
fights on,
political
though,
capital
doesn't
to
he,
expend.
Dominic? He never
does.
goes quiet. He held on to the Deputy Prime Minister.
If you believe that you're innocent, and of course you're going to fight it, because, I mean, bullying allegations are nasty allegations.
Sunak better be careful, though, because Raab is a black belt in karate. So,
But, of course, if he sacks him, he also then has to do... I mean, who knows? Perhaps he has decided that he's going to sack him, but he needs to think about... the reshuffle that would be part of sacking him if that was what he was going to do. And he might want to be able to announce all of that in one go. But, I mean, you know, Ian is right. We are speculating because we don't know what's in the report. What's interesting is that if you read what people are saying about it, those who are around Rishi Sunak are saying it's not very clear-cut. Those who are closer to the civil service are saying it's very clear-cut and there should be action.
I wonder how they know. The thing is, we will know ourselves because they're going to publish the full report, I gather, unredacted. I mean, they won't mention civil servants' names, I don't think, but the whole thing is going to be
When is that expected? Today?
I think as soon when the decision is made, the report will be
You'd think we get a decision today, right, on this? I mean,
If you're a betting man, would you say 5 p.m. he would still be Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Secretary?
Go on, have a bet. How much?
I think it's really difficult to say. I mean, I know we're supposed to give opinions on this programme, but I'm on this one. I just don't know. My instinct is possible. See, whatever I say now is going to be wrong.
OK, I'm willing to take a bet. I think the fact that he still is now means that he still will be at 5 p.m.
Wow.
I think if it was clear-cut, I think he'd be gone by now, given Rishi Sunak's previous.
Wow.
And, of course, going back to that Boris Johnson point, Rishi Sunak's made a big thing about wanting to not be like Boris Johnson. So I think if he thought he needed to fire him, he would have done it by now. But I don't know. I'm simply reckoning.
I like that.
This is what I think, but I don't know.
What she said.
Wow. I love it.
Right.
I love it.